Hey, what's going on? It's Tuesday, and hold on, what are these on? There you go, much better. I came to the mall because I thought there'd be a hot dog on a stick here. There's not, so I went to Orange Julius to get a hot dog and an Orange Julius, but they were out of hot dogs and out of Orange Julius at the Orange Julius. So why the fuck are they open? I ended up getting a Sparrow. It's about as mall foodie as you can get, I guess. It's also a Burger King here, but I'd rather slit my throat than eat Burger King. All right. So I got pizza too. This is a #1 video game food blog on the internet. I just told that joke to Mega 64. What an asshole. All right. Anyway. Top game of the week, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. It's coming out on the Switch. It came out on Wii about 9.5 years ago, and it was actually very well received when it came out, but over time it got a reputation for being kind of shitty. Once you do the motion controls, there's a lot of like tutorial hand holding, so they kind of took some of that stuff out in this new Switch version. But the controls are still, like the motion controls are still like baked into that game so hard that you couldn't get rid of it fully. So, you're still gonna have to deal with that. But you can play with the controller using the thumbsticks. You like flick the sword. So that should be fun. What else is there? Not a lot coming out this week. Like something called Radio Viscera is coming out on PC. Whatever. Another game called High Risers is also coming out on PC. It's like I don't know, it's like Sim Tower, but with zombies. Remember Sim Tower? I do. Oh, got my sponsor in there. Yeah. What else? Oh, F1 2021 is coming out on PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Series S and X. For all you F1 racing fans out there. It must do well, because they've released one every year for the last, at least, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, something like that. They've been making these games for a while, so somebody's playing them. That's it for new stuff. Notable titles. 10 years ago, we had Call of Juarez, the Cartel, homie. This game is for all you pinchy putos out there. It's, if you ever played the Call of Juarez, it's like a Western game, right? Except this one, the Cartel, took place in modern LA and Mexico. And there's all these like gangbangers, like, yo, what's up, homie? We're gonna fuck these motherfuckers up. And, I don't want to be a wet blanket, but, it's a little, offensive, I grew up in Southern California, so I'm very familiar with that type of slang or whatever, but nobody really talks like that. They just make it for the game, these fucking gangbangers, they make them talk like assholes. But I'm really supposed to be like, hey fellas, the cops are here, let's run. They're not gonna do that. That's stupid. But I don't know. It's a bad stereotype. And to make it even worse, the game's not even good. It's not even a fun game. The graphics are terrible. It's too dark. You can't see anything. The combat is just awful. I had to shoot a helicopter down, and it took me 30 minutes to try to aim this fucking thing. It's not a good game. I don't recommend it. So you can just skip it. Yeah. 20 years ago, City Crisis came out on the PS2. That was a game published by Take-Two, but it's made by a Japanese studio. But even then, it still has a lot of Grand Theft Auto-esque things going for it. It takes place in an open world city where you are a helicopter search and rescue pilot, and you're going around putting out fires in buildings and rescuing people off rooftops and trying to catch criminals by shining your spotlight on them. It's a fun game. The only problem is the controls are just terrible. Early 2000s games controls, they just didn't know what they were doing with 3D yet, not fully. and so yeah, it's hard to control, but it's fun enough, you know. It shows promise. It would be great if we got like a new version of it with good controls. I'd be into that. Finally, 30 years ago, on the Genesis, we got Phantasy Star 3, Generations of Doom. I guess known as kind of one of the lesser well-received Phantasy Star games. And it's still good. It's still a 16-bit RPG. You know, there are not a lot of terrible ones. This isn't my favorite RPG, not my favorite Phantasy Star either, but it's okay. It's kind of interesting. It has like branching storylines and pathways you can take. Like your character you start out with gets married, and depending on who you marry, then you'll have a child that goes on their own adventure, and then that child will marry somebody, and then finally you're at that, I guess, your grandchild at that point, they complete the quest that you started as yourself. So you know, it's Phantasy Star. If you like RPGs, you should check it out. You can get it on anything now. It's on that Sega Genesis collection that they made for Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. And you know, I say check it out. There's like a fast forward feature on that new one, like the new version of it, so you can like just skip past all the bullshit. Anyway, I'm pretty upset that I didn't get my corn dog or my orange Julius, but I guess this pizza will do. It's a 4 cheese something, so I'm just gonna eat that right now. That thing like no, yeah. Alright, bye.